women had always been the brewers. It was way back to ancient Sumerian, and the women being holy enough to be the brewers because it was a goddess of beer and brewing, so only women were holy enough. So the women did the brewing, and then it became the English alewives. So women would make the daily ale like they made the daily bread. And it wasn't really until the Industrial Revolution, and also with the church, the monks turning it into really an industrial business, that the pots became so big and the barrels became so big that no one woman or one person could just do it at home, and it got outsourced to a business. At that point, men kind of took over. And now the rise in the last couple years of craft beer since the 80s, women can grow up and realize, oh man, this is an adult beverage option that has flavor, interest. Well, I want to drink it. So now more women are drinking it, and drinking it they realize this is a job I could do. This is an industry I might want to be in. Maybe I want to go to school and learn how to do this. I can make this my own. And now we've had a whole generation that has grown up knowing they can be part of the beer industry and want to be part of the beer industry. They want to put in the effort it takes to make beer, because making beer is hard. It's long hours, physical. It can all consume your thoughts through process, engineering, flavor profile development, paperwork. So it's exciting that we have all these new blood, new ideas, new diversity coming in, because having the same group of people producing the same product over and over leads to one very monotone flavor. And that's what we ended up with in the industry. We ended up with American domestic lager, and it was very one-dimensional. Now with more women getting into it and more different groups of people, we're getting lots of neat flavors and different tasting beer that's just delicious, and we've never had before. It's great. It's a great time to be in beer and be drinking beer.
There's no reason there shouldn't be equal amounts of women in the brewing industry, which again, there's a lot less women out there trying to get into the industry than men. There's a smaller pool of women to pick from when you get a handful of resumes. I might get 1 out of 10 applications and resumes that come in through my email or drop by the office. Maybe 1 in 10 is going to be a female. So, and I teach some brewing classes as well with Madison College, and that's kind of the same. It's usually maybe we'll get one female per semester in a group of 8 to 10 people.
For the first 10 years of my career, I was the only woman in the state of Wisconsin that was a brewmaster. Around 2006, I met Terry Ferendorf. She's a Wisconsin girl, and she was the brewmaster at Steelhead. She decided to go cross-country and visit everybody in the industry, and she came to Wisconsin to brew with me. When I met her, she told me about all these other women in the state, across the country that were brewing. And I was like, wait a minute, there's other women? How do I meet them? How can we get in touch? And she was like, well, I don't know. How do we get in touch? So she decided to start the Pink Boot Society, international organization of women to bring everyone together, share knowledge, communicate with each other, a group of women in the industry. And since she started that group, the group has grown from 7 members that she met as she crossed the country, and to now today, I just found out the number was up to 2,500.
Pink Boots helps out with scholarships, stuff like that, so there might be women out there who aren't totally aware that whatever your background is, you can find some place in the brewing industry, and there's so many different scholarships. It's not just production brewers, it's business ownerships, it's hop growing, it's pretty much anything. I'm not sure if they are in the sales direction yet with some of those scholarships, but any kind of background you have, you're bringing something to the table to a brewery, whether it's you and a group of people want to start your own brewery, or an existing brewery, because there's just so many different directions that you can go, and there's so many cool things breweries are doing nowadays. No matter what your specialty is or what your passion is, that can somehow be tied into brewing as a whole. So it's very cool to see that we're continuing to kind of encourage more women to get into the industry, and Pink Boots and their scholarships and just their awareness in general is a great way to get more people in.
I I was in college studying biotech. And we had a class called bioreactions, where I don't know how they wrote the course syllabus that the dean didn't know what we were doing, but all we did was make beer. And I was good at it. I knew nothing about beer, but I did some tricks with my yeast, and I got, imperial browns, and I turned, nut browns into porters and all this stuff. And my teachers were like, you could be a brewer. And I'm like, that's a job option? Actually, I did my graduating college internship at Moose Jaw. I worked for free for 5 months, scrubbing floors, polishing tanks. I got nowhere near the beer. I think they thought I'd just walk away someday. All I did was carry heavy things, but they kept me on, started to pay me. I would bartend at night to make money and come in 5 a.m., scrub floors, polish tanks, and along the way, the brewmaster taught me little bits of things, and then the company sent me to the Master Brewers Association of America for brewing and malting, and upon completion I came back and took over the brewery in 2005.
My undergraduate degree is in biology from UW-Madison, with a lot of organic chemistry, biochemistry, and physics, which happens to be very relevant for brewing, although I didn't know that at the time. I homebrewed for a few years before I even had an idea to get into it professionally. And then I did schooling with Siebel, or in the World Brewing Academy, based in Chicago and just outside of Munich in Germany. I started at Capital part-time just to kind of get my feet wet, keep my knowledge going after have gone to school, and then coming back and trying to just keep my knowledge in play. The way I see it, I'll never know everything there is to know about brewing beer.
I started on this whole path when I was a senior in high school. I looked under a microscope and I saw microbes, and I absolutely fell in love. I spent time after school just staring through the microscope and learning about organisms that you couldn't see with the naked eye. And it evolved from there, really. So I got my bachelor's in microbiology with an emphasis in infectious disease at South Dakota State University, and right now I'm working on my master's at UWL in the clinical microbiology program. I feel that brewing is a natural offshoot of microbiology because of the sheer involvement of yeast and how important it is to keep that yeast happy and healthy and producing all of the alcohol and esters and the wonderful byproducts that you need to make really good beer. So being a microbiologist and being a brewer, just walking hand in hand down a delicious beery lane.
I always tell people you have a better shot at becoming a neurosurgeon than you do a brewer. Not just being a girl, but any kind of guy, because you have to compete with everybody and their brother for the job. So you really have to be willing to do what the other person won't. You gotta learn more than everybody else, and especially as a girl, you gotta be willing to get physical, get dirty, learn more than the next guy next to you. You've gotta know electrical, plumbing, engineering, biochemical, hazmat, how to drive a forklift. You can't just say, I know how to make beer and call it quits, because there's so many more aspects of it. You have to be able to do taxes, read Senate bills, because they change the laws on us constantly. So it's really, you have to become a complete brewer if you really want to get in there and learn all aspects of brewing, not just I can make a porter.
Men in brewing and women in brewing, the only difference is, a superficial gender difference. If you think that you're interested in getting into brewing, go for it. There's breweries looking for brewers all the time, and, get your foot in the door, start, offer to clean a tank or offer to come in for a bottling session. As long as you're passionate about the beer and you're interested, they'd love to have you. I've found more resistance from the customers than the actual men in brewing. The men in brewing are just excited to see us, and they're glad that we're there, and they think it's great. They're all about diversity. I haven't met a male brewer who doesn't want other female brewers. Go for it.
I would say for a woman who wants to get into the beer industry, the door's wide open. There's never been a better time. There are a lot more women in the industry today, and we can completely contribute that to the Pink Boot Society. We're in all aspects of the industry now, from beer sales, packaging, lab, distribution, media, marketing. Every industry is touched by women now. They give out scholarships every month Last year in 2018, they gave out 22 scholarships.
I think collaboration has been, especially in the craft brewing industry, we all kind of have to band together because we know our numbers are barely a fraction of what the big brewing industry is as a whole. So I think craft brewers have kind of always kind of teamed up. One thing that I've participated in, and I hear a lot of other new breweries, they will participate in a collaboration with a larger brewery or an existing brewery before they get their brewing license, so that they can kind of make some beer with their name on it, that in collaboration with that other beer. So then they, once their tap room opens, then they'll have some beer to put on tap right away that they were a part of. And then also as a brewer that's been around for a long time, I always appreciated before we even started doing collaborations, started seeing people doing that and appreciated it's kind of the help you're doing to, instead of just saying like, oh, you're just one more brewery that's going to be my competition, just saying, hey, I'd love to help you start out and get up on your feet. Because it's, as somebody said to me once upon a time before I even knew I was going to be in the industry for the rest of my life, it said, any advice that I can give you, that's one more good beer that I might get to drink someday once you're up and running and you've got your own breweries. Wisconsin in general has been really, really good about collaboration. The Wisconsin Brewers Guild has been kind of facilitating a collaboration beer every year for Madison Craft Beer Week. So that's a really cool opportunity that pretty much everyone in Wisconsin is invited to come down, hang out, make beer together, and then we release that during Craft Beer Week. And the Pink Boots Society actually ran, kind of spearheaded the recipe and the brewing of one at Wisconsin Brewing Company, the 3rd or 4th year in. And yeah, it's been a ton of fun, and I've really, really enjoyed that process, just getting together and coming up with a recipe, with all the different Wisconsin brewers, and then getting together, making it, release parties and all that stuff. So it's been really, really cool.
I love being in the same room with other brewers, and I always have. I've always really liked, and that's the fun part of the craft beer industry. I don't think like lawyers or accountants call each other up and share ideas, but brewers do, because if the person down the street's making a porter and it's good and somebody goes there and likes their porter, I think they're going to come to our brewery and try our beer too. It means they're open to good tasting beer. And good tasting beer benefits everybody. So if I can share anything I've learned with another brewer or get an idea from them that can benefit me, I'm all about collaboration, sharing of ideas, the openness. And that's a really great part of this industry. So I've always been open for collaboration, but in the last couple of years with the Wisconsin Brewers Guild and the Pink Boots Society, we've been having a lot more get-togethers to brew with each other. And I think being in the same room with that many people that think about beer that much, it's so fun to bounce ideas off of people and just think of when we come up and just talk shop, the things that come up and that we can all take back to our own breweries and apply. Maybe we're not doing it in the collaboration, but it's like, oh man, Bo from South Shore said this, I might want to come, try that on my system. Or Allison told me she sparges like this. Well, I'm going to give that a shot. Let's see what that yields. Or if I want to make Clint from Working Draft, I had a question about making kettle sours, and he was really nice to talk me through it, the process on how to do it on a single infusion system like mine. So it's just that willingness to share, and then that opens up, because I definitely don't know everything, but if I can take little bits of information from everybody else, I'm going to be able to expand my portfolio of what I know how to make. So I think that's where everyone's kind of getting all these new ideas from, is just being with each other and sharing of great ideas. New breweries open every day, but the great thing about that is there's always been more women been put into the industry. Even though we've seen, I went from being the only one for about the first 10 years of my career in the state of Wisconsin to now, I think almost every brewery's got a woman working in some capacity, at least for the craft beer in the state of Wisconsin, which is nice, but still national-wide, we only hold 4% of the top position of the brewmaster position as far as women go.